welcome everybody to our live this morning. Thank you for being here and joining us. Sorry we're just a minute or two late. As always, we are happy to be with you guys. We're going to be doing some pretty fun stuff this morning. We're going to start off with some questions, Q&A. So if you have any burning questions about your channel specifically or about YouTube strategy, that's all pretty much I know anything about. So I don't know if you can ask questions on other things, but no promises on answers there. But yeah, let's start off with a couple questions. We're going to get into some channel roasts. We introed a new idea last week on our live, a little bit of a roast game, you could say. So we're going to do that a little bit later, but we're glad to have you here. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and we're just going to get some questions out of the way here.
Yeah, try to say, if you want to roast, wait to comment so we don't have to scroll back and find you. Just let us know your more specific questions right now.
Yes. Okay. There's a question. Not sure what the channel name is. What's one way or tactic to keep motivated on this marathon? Use a bunch of tools: Canva, StreamYard, TubeBuddy. Listed too many advisors, maybe too many, but slowly growing. What do you think, Julianne?
I think the tools, they can be helpful if you find ones that are motivating. Certain ones, for me, are less motivating because maybe the way they're structured, it shows you too much at once. And so I think finding tools that really do show you the right amount and kind of help you keep motivated is really helpful. There's a tool called Amazing Marvin. It's just a to-do list app that I really love. It keeps me motivated. It's got all kinds of gamification and cool stuff like that. I know a lot of people say don't get held back by the tools. And I don't think you should ever feel like you have to, but if it keeps you motivated, I think it's a great thing. Yeah. Some other things, Atomic Habits by James Clear is a very good book, and he talks about making things very visible. So even if I might be organized in a more complicated tool on my computer like ClickUp, I sometimes like to have a whiteboard or something more, not something on my fridge, so I can kind of just see it all day long and check it off and stay motivated like that. Another huge thing is accountability.
Yeah.
I know people in Project 24 get a lot out of that, and even here around the office, we just try to stay accountable to each other, even on our personal projects. So if you have anyone in your life, even if they aren't doing YouTube, you might not have anyone that's doing YouTube. If you can, kind of collaborate, and maybe they have a project that's totally unrelated to YouTube, but you can kind of keep each other accountable, or if you can find someone else to collaborate with.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll hold you accountable every week. We'll drop a video. Let us know in the comments if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it'll be kind of fun. So I think that's a great one. I think the accountability for me is huge. I know I've done individual projects in the past, and it's just hard to stay on top of it. Stuff comes up. You find yourself in a position where you just don't want to do it. You're not seeing maybe the level of results that you're hoping for, and it's just so demotivating. But having someone there to not only encourage you, but especially if they can have a little bit of skin in the game. I know that's not possible in every case, but I know that's helped me a lot, is working with someone who actually also wants to make this thing successful. So I know everyone's situation is a little bit different, but find a way to be accountable in some way. And like I said, we'd be happy to help hold you accountable too.
Yeah.
I saw a question here about pivoting a channel. Let's see if I can find it again. Someone said, Earth Central says, I've been transitioning from natural disasters coverage to storm chasing. Any tips on that?
I'm jealous. I've always wanted to be a storm chaser. That sounds so fun. Well, it doesn't seem that different to me. It's different, but it seems like the same kind of audience for the most part. I'm sure there are some people that are more specifically going to just prefer storm chasing or maybe natural disasters. But I would think you could retain a lot of your old audience. What do you think about unlisting the old videos? Often we recommend you unlist your old videos when you're pivoting, but this one's a little tricky. It's close.
Yeah, I almost wonder if, since the topic is pretty similar, it just really depends on how different you would say the content is. If the content is 70 or 80% similar, then I maybe would remarket them, maybe change the titles and thumbnails to maybe match existing or new content. But if it's presented in a really different way before the change versus now after the change, I would maybe unlist them.
Yeah.
Just so that you can have a clean clean cut. We're working on a video. It's actually a really in-depth channel roast where we recommend some things on a channel who's making some pivots. And it sounds like you're in a pretty similar situation where your video types aren't changing totally, but maybe if you're just redoing some of the marketing around the video types and just reimagining the video types a little bit, you might be able to get a much broader audience. So hopefully when you watch that, I believe that one's coming out this upcoming Monday. So keep an eye out for that video. I think it will have some helpful tips, especially for you.
And just remember, it takes time.
Yes, it does.
Okay, another one. Is it worth the effort to try and drive traffic to my YouTube channel through Instagram? I would say if you're already really active on Instagram, definitely mention your channel, assuming it's a similar topic. If you haven't started Instagram, I would think your time is probably better spent just focusing on actual YouTube videos. So I think kind of depends on where you're already putting your effort. A little extra effort, sure. But completely going to Instagram for that purpose is probably not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you, I totally agree with you. If you don't already have an Instagram account, building one up, it's essentially the same as trying to build up a YouTube channel. You're just trying to get a following there, so you're going to need to put a lot of effort into that. And so it probably is just more worth it to spend the time on the YouTube channel. That being said, if you just want to give it a shot for like a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks to see if you can make any significant progress, some people find that they're just a little more successful on one platform than another. But then at that point, you might find that you could drive some good traffic over with a decent sized Instagram account. It's just that if you're building both from the ground up, it's just really, really tough. We know it's tough to get a YouTube channel off the ground, and I think it is equally as tough to get an Instagram account or a TikTok or whatever. I have a channel that we have been posting on Instagram kind of in connection to what we're doing on YouTube and have seen very little results. The channel in the last 3 months is up to over 3,000 subscribers now, but the Instagram has like 45 followers. And we've been posting pretty much the same amount of content on each. So again, that's just a one-off scenario. I'm sure there's so many of you who have had more success on Instagram than I have, but it hasn't worked out so well for me yet.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Anytime you spread yourself thinner, I mean, it's nice to not have all your eggs in one basket, but that's a lot of work. Okay, so Rainy Day Forge says, my viewers are coming from niche videos that are not directly related. How do I get them on videos that are connected to the right people? So I think what you're saying is maybe your videos are getting suggested on other videos, but you want them suggested on different videos and they're currently being suggested on. I don't know how much we can say about this one. We have some things in Project 24 that we have promised our members we won't share outside of Project 24, and they like to hold us accountable on that. So it takes time, I can tell you that. And there are some more specific strategies. Anything else we can share that you'd add?
Any specific strategies? I don't know. I mean, I would say the best thing that you could do is just test different things. There's different elements that YouTube gives you. Like the description, so maybe linking to a specific video in the description, or you can link similar content, there's just different things that you can try with some of these YouTube features to see what works for you and your channel. But other than that, just having content that is similar, that it's all sort of cohesive in some way. I think the reality is if you make content that's cohesive enough, YouTube should do its job and show it to people. And they've given us these little tools where we can recommend a video here or put a video there, I think, to help spur that on a little bit. But if the content's cohesive enough and it points the audience in the right direction, YouTube should do its job and the algorithm should show the content to the people who would be interested in it. So it's putting a little bit of faith in YouTube. I know that's tough, but that's kind of what it is, I would say. Yeah,
it's a good sign that it is getting recommended.
Yeah.
Even though it's not quite where you want it to yet. So.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, Earth Central again says, my channel's approaching its 10th anniversary next Wednesday. Any tips for what I should do for that? Do something fun.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe do a live stream. I don't know if you do any live streams, but they're kind of fun. It's a great way, an opportunity to interact with your audience and just let them feel connected. Let them know like this is a big deal for you and your channel and that you want to involve them in some way. So anything that you could do that would be kind of unique to your topic, or maybe it is a special stream, or maybe you can do like a premiere, like a video premiere. where you do sort of this dedicated, I don't know, blast from the past. And it's a video that may not do really well. Like, it may not be a super spreadable video, but it could be one that just really resonates with your core audience and builds their kind of love and trust with you and your channel. Any
That's so
ideas from your
exciting.
side?
I like that. I think that's great. That's a really big milestone. Most people haven't had channels that long.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Someone was asking or made a comment about YouTube tagging on YouTube. YouTube, I'm just kind of jumping into this conversation a little bit. YouTube has said that tags are not that important. It's not like an SEO thing. It's not going to boost your traffic. They say it's to help clarify, like if you used a word or a phrase or like want to correct the spelling of something, that's really what the tags are for. So yeah, tags aren't really gonna help you. They're good if you feel like you need them in a video, but they're not gonna really boost your views or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right. What niches would you recommend, ideally faceless, for someone who has limited time to only 1 or 2 hours per day? Niches, so faceless niches, and I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have any ideas for faceless niches. 1 to 2 hours a day. 1 to 2 hours a day, that's a pretty decent amount of time to spend on a channel. I'd say any channel. I know that I probably should spend that much time on my channel, but I don't think I'm spending that much right now. What do you think?
I've been liking those faceless channels that are not, like, it's so common to see faceless channels where it's all B-roll or AI generated or whatever, but I've kind of been loving the ones where it's almost like first person view, where, you know, maybe someone's cooking or something and they never show their face, but you can tell that they're there, maybe hear their voice. So if you have any hobbies, maybe you could do something like that. I don't want to tell you like what niche, because I don't know what you're into. Pick something you're into, and maybe that style. I don't know.
Oh, faceless channels. You know, honestly, when it comes to choosing a niche on YouTube, I don't know if I would just say, go after this one niche because it's good for faceless, or go after this one niche because it has a high RPM. I would just say find a niche that you like. I think that pretty much any niche that you want to pursue, I guess within a certain boundary, you could probably make it work. You know, if you like gaming, do gaming. If you like being outside, do something outside. If you like tinkering around or fabricating or, you know, growing, gardening, whatever, like, if you want to make it faceless and just figure out how to make it work. I mean, to me, that adds an element of sort of excitement to it.
Yeah.
And I get like it's intimidating, but with 1 to 2 hours a day, you could do great content with that amount of time. You know, maybe you feel like you'll be really slow early on, but as you learn and, you know, you get better at editing, get better at shooting, figure out what shots work and storytelling, you know, as you continue to learn all those things, you're going to get better and better and faster. And then if you're spending, you know, 10 to 15 hours a week on a video, that's a good amount of time. That could be a really great video. And so I'd say you're most likely to do well on something that you're passionate about. And if you find that you're passionate about something, you're going to naturally know what other people who are passionate about that thing would like. And so you'll have a little bit of this special insight. And so that's the way I would approach it. I know that that's not like a super helpful answer just because it's not really narrowing down a niche. But yeah, figure out what you like. If you have any hobbies, if you don't have a hobby, find a hobby.
It's so true though. If you are familiar with the niche and you're into it, you're gonna know so much better what kind of content to make.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who is guessing what people would like.
Yep.
People ask about vidIQ versus TubeBuddy. Any advice on comparing TubeBuddy to vidIQ?
Good question.
Looks like a couple people asked about that. I mean, a lot of it you can do on your own. Somebody mentioned that in the comments here. That if you build the right habits, you can do it on your own. If you've had a channel for a really long time and you want to like bulk edit things, TubeBuddy can be good for that. Is it worth the monthly subscription? Probably not. Probably just get 1 month.
Yeah.
A lot of it feels like, especially with vidIQ, to me, I feel like, you know, we have it on our channel, and sometimes I feel like I would be better off without it because it makes me go spend all this time looking at analytics that are a lot comparing our channel to other channels, which can be strategic, can also be kind of a trap. Sometimes I just feel like it's costing me more time than it's saving. One feature we absolutely love with vidIQ is that you can see the thumbnail for a video while you clicked into the video. You see the thumbnail on the right. But that's very specific to us because we are studying YouTube. So we care what the thumbnail looks like for a video. For any other niche, unless you're teaching people how to succeed on YouTube, you probably don't need that bad. You can click back and see the thumbnails. I mean, I guess it's helpful for any niche. You might want to be getting ideas, but I think that's a free feature.
Yeah, I think for me it just feels kind of the same thing. A lot of the things that they're tools on both of them, they have a lot of similarities. There's a lot of tools that are pretty overlapping between vidIQ and TubeBuddy. And then there are a few, like Julia said, that have sort of a one-off use case, or maybe every few months or once a year while I'm doing some organizing. And for that, I think they're great. We did a video, it was probably 4, 5, maybe 6 months ago, kind of a comparison between the two where we looked at a lot of the features and we kind of ranked them a little bit. Probably worth revisiting here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would say I hate either of them. I'm a cheapskate, so I wouldn't pay for it. If there's a free version, I can get some free features, then that's great for me.
And the free versions are great.
Yes.
They have really good free versions, so start with those.
Yep.
They will let you know what the paid features are.
Yeah.
They want you to get the paid version, so start with the free one. If they sell you on the paid one, try it. We have spent a lot more time with vidIQ than TubeBuddy, but I would like to spend more time testing out the features of TubeBuddy, and I plan to do that soon. So we'll get back to you with more, but yeah, for now, just get the free versions because they're amazing, and I'm sure if there's anything you need in those paid versions, they will let you know.
Yeah, good question. And I think that honestly, this brings up sort of the whole tools versus not tools discussion, which I think is a really valuable discussion to have, especially if you're getting started on YouTube. There are a lot of tools out there, and some of them may have some application that's useful for you as a new creator, but a lot of them you'll be better off early on learning some of the skills that you need on your own. And that doesn't go for every tool. I mean, maybe there are some tools where you go, wow, this would be really helpful. I think so, it would speed things up for me or help me be more productive. That's fine. But I would just say be cautious. Don't get lazy and just say, don't look for just shortcuts. I know a lot of people end up just looking for shortcuts. Like, oh, this AI editor is going to fix all my problems, or, just different things like that. And there's nothing wrong with some of those tools in the right context, but when you're just getting started, I am a firm believer in just learning the right way to do it, learning all the processes, so that as you grow, you become an expert in these things and you're not just totally reliant on a bunch of tools. So
that's such a big deal. Yeah, really good point.
Righteous Monkey says, I have an addiction/recovery channel, so the content can be raw from time to time. After getting monetized, some videos have a yellow $sign. Do you think it's worth going back to fix? So limited monetization sounds like.
Yeah.
In a niche like that, where you're talking about addiction or addiction recovery, like you said, some of those topics, YouTube, it's really not even YouTube. Probably it's just more that YouTube has to maintain relationships with advertisers. Advertisers don't want to advertise on specific types of content, things that could be considered sensitive, especially. So, going back and fixing it could mean essentially censoring some of your videos to some extent. If you're okay with that, if you still feel like you can provide the value so that you can get full monetization, that's probably okay. But that's a tough call as a creator, because you really want, sometimes those stories that are a little bit sensitive, sometimes they bring a lot of meaning for people in those situations. So it's just a little bit of a balance to figure out, can you provide the value that you really want to provide? Or maybe if you're having limited monetization and your audience, maybe that's something that they can understand, and they may even be willing to support you, sort of like a Patreon or something like that. So you might look into other forms of monetization so that you don't have to censor the content in a way that would bring its value down.
Yeah, definitely. I would consider how many dollars you're gonna get over a year from those videos.
Right.
It might be pretty low. AdSense is pretty low, and we're making another video right now touching on just how much more you can make with other strategies. So like you don't have to rely on AdSense. It shouldn't be that big of a pie if you're doing things strategically.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Nathan said, I think it's probably worth it. You can use your own judgment, of course, but if you think that's good content and that people appreciate that content and need that content, it's worth it, I think, to forgo the revenue or part of the revenue on those videos to give your audience something that's really meaningful to them, and I think it'll pay off in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. Dawson's Digging says, feels like I'm getting 1 subscriber a day. The grind is real. Yes, it is. The grind is real. I feel that. Earth Central, so back to we were talking about the pivoting strategy. Earth Central says, I don't unlist videos as it's part of the channel's history. I get that, but a little bit of reasoning behind the unlisting. There's actually a very, I would say, somewhat proven strategy with the unlisting of videos, and it's not even about the channel's history at that point. And I understand the value of people being able to go back and see the history of the channel. The problem is if you have one type of content and YouTube is recommending that type of content to an audience, if you pivot far enough away from that original type of content, YouTube is going to try to recommend your new content to that same old audience, and you're going to have no success. It's going to be a very, very big problem for you. And so, but by getting rid of those old videos, it almost like doesn't give YouTube that reference point of that old content anymore. And so it forces YouTube to find new audience to show your new videos to. So I understand your reasoning that you want the history of the channel. I would also say if you're pivoting and you're not seeing success, if you kind of feel like you're banging your head up on the wall and nothing's happening, you might consider removing some of those old videos to see if that helps. And you could simply private them or unlist them and then give it 5 or 6 months. If it doesn't do anything, then put them back on. And the history is still there. Anyway, just a little bit of context there.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
I think even like if you really wanted people to still be able to access them somehow, you could even make a separate channel, put all those old videos on the new channel, and then maybe in the description put something like if you're looking for these, or if somebody comments and asks for them. No, not that you have to unlist those videos, but it can help the algorithm figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Strawberry Jam says, good morning. Good morning. I've had success getting views on YouTube, but sadly my type of content, animations, takes a lot of time and energy. Not sure if you have any advice. This is tough. This is one that I've heard from a lot of people who do animations.
Yes.
I mean, it's just such a time-consuming thing. But a lot of times the product is really, really cool. Settling for a less frequent publishing schedule. If your quality is there, but you only publish every 2 weeks or once a month, that can still work. There's a very significant, I don't know, I guess it's technically, I think it's like Blender Animation. It's a Blender Animation channel. Someone that we know, and their channel has multiple millions of subscribers, and I think they publish once a month. And so I know that that's sort of a really big channel example, but to me, hopefully that's just a little bit of hope that even if it does take you a lot of time and it's a ton of work, if you're willing to put in the work, you're getting the views. Eventually, hopefully, even with a slower publishing schedule, you could still be successful.
Yeah, I like that. Shorter videos, possibly. Another thing I was thinking of, this might be a long shot, but just an idea. If you could find another animator, like a friend or maybe someone else on YouTube that would want to like collaborate, because so many animators are in the same boat of like they want to make these videos, but they don't have time. If you had 2 of you, it could go maybe almost twice as fast, and you'd have to probably give up a little bit of creative liberty, but it might be kind of fun to like collaborate and make something together. I don't know. That's just throwing out ideas. It's rough.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. This is an interesting one. Art YRV Glass Studio says, watching from South Carolina. We've been on YouTube with long form, shorts, and live streaming for a few years. When we take a break from uploading shorts, revenue goes up. What's up? What do you think? Stop publishing shorts, revenue goes up. I have a little bit of a theory.
Yeah.
It's just a theory. So you can't quote me on this. Here's what I'm wondering. When you're publishing shorts on your channel that also has long form content, YouTube is showing that short form content to essentially a different type of viewer, right? They're looking for viewers who are, in the shorts feed, looking for that shorter form content. it's very possible that some of those short form viewers, maybe they are somewhat interested in your long form content, but it's possible that their attention span or their viewing habits kind of start with the short form and they translate over into your long form. So maybe they watch your short form 20 or 30 second video, and then maybe it connects to a long form, and then they watch 10 or 20 seconds of your long form video and realize, it's a little bit slower, I'm not really that interested. So if YouTube is, if you look at it like kind of impressions, maybe all these impressions are coming to your long form, but they're really short form audience. It's possible that they're just, the average view duration is lower on some of those videos, or just per viewer, which could cause a decrease in revenue. Whereas when you're not publishing shorts, maybe it's getting overall fewer impressions or maybe fewer views, but the average watch time could be up. Again, without knowing the background of your channel or seeing any of the analytics, it's hard to say, but I would just wonder if some of that short audience is kind of bleeding over into your long form content, but they're just watching less of the videos. Which, is it a good thing or a bad thing? From an audience growth perspective, maybe it's a good thing. From a revenue perspective, maybe it's not a good thing in the short term. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Solid theory.
Yeah, I don't know. Very, very interesting. Angry Owl Outdoors. Good morning from Idaho.
Good morning.
Good morning from Idaho to you too. Good to be in Idaho today.
All
right.
Warmer, finally.
Yeah, it is getting warmer. Another shorts one. World No More. Is it advisable to create shorts based on my long form videos, or should I create a TikTok channel to drive traffic to my YouTube? Seems like shorts seem to affect the algorithm on long form videos.
Interesting time, Davey.
Yeah, interesting timing on this one. You know what? I've seen so many people do it so many different ways. There's a lot of people who are pretty confident that when they publish shorts on their channels, it hurts their long form content. I would have to say, if that's your experience, to some extent, there's probably some truth to that. There are probably also other factors that are impacting it too, just because there are a million different things that could happen on YouTube. But I would say that if you created some sort of second channel, that would be just fine. I can only tell you really from my personal experience, I'll say on the Channel Makers YouTube channel, occasionally we'll post a short. It doesn't seem to harm our long form videos. I think a big piece of that, though, is our channel is made up of 97% long form content, maybe 3% shorts. But if you're posting a ton of shorts and then it's like 80% shorts, 20% long form, it just feels like the balance is off. If you are more worried and focused on long form, it should be the larger percentage. So for example, on my side projects, I started a long form channel. It's growing well. It's growing slowly but well. I decided to put shorts on a separate channel, a separate YouTube channel, where I would cross post to Instagram and TikTok. And so the shorts channel, like I mentioned a little earlier, it's just over 3,000 subscribers now. It's grown quickly, as shorts channels typically do, or faster than a long form. But then when I've been cross posting to TikTok and Instagram, I've seen just far less success. And so I would say that posting on multiple platforms is okay. But typically, what works well on Instagram may not work as well as on TikTok, or it may not work as well on YouTube. And so just repurposing content is a great thing, but it's not always the right fit for those platforms. So I would just say give things a try. Maybe just throw some spaghetti at the wall for a couple weeks, see if you can catch on somewhere. For me on my channel, it happened to be YouTube Shorts, and so we started this YouTube Shorts channel that ended up working much better than Instagram or TikTok. So that's kind of where I've put my focus on for the short form content, and then of course also my long form channel as well. But like I said, I don't know if there's really one right way to do this. It's just figuring out the right balance for your channel. But definitely trying new things is important, because then you just know what seems to work for you and what doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Tech Troublemaker. Do you have any testing that says getting rid of old videos when you pivot helps? The creator liaison seems to say different. That's interesting. I don't recall hearing anything from, I assume you're talking about Renee Ritchie. I don't recall anything from him that... Yeah. Daryl Eves says that it's very recommended. And a lot of people that have kind of shadowed him have done it and seen success. There were some talks at Bid Summit in 2023 about it. There were even some videos about it like interviews, I believe, between Daryl and some creators about it that are public on YouTube. So I could try to find those and put them in the description or pinned comment after we're done here. I mean, I understand that there's probably some debate about it. I think YouTube is very, very careful to say anything confuses the algorithm or, will turn the algorithm against you, because they don't want to give people that suspicion at all. They don't want people to be making bad content and keep making bad content and accuse YouTube of hating them, shadow banning them. So they're probably going to be very careful about what they say when asked. I'd be surprised if they directly said it doesn't help. Maybe they did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If you have a source, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't believe you, but the pie guy, which I don't think this is a question, but I love the idea, so we're going to share it. I started unlisting old videos a year ago and made them members only. I then re-edit and shorten the old videos and re-upload it as a second weekly video, and they do great. So they're like shorter versions. That's so cool. I tried to keep 3 years of videos up. I love that idea.
Yeah, very cool.
I think that's amazing.
Very cool. I know that there's sort of this, unlisting, I think we can be honest, unlisting videos is painful. It's like you put hours and hours and hours of work into something, and then to feel like you need to get rid of it, or, it kind of gets rid of some of this channel history, like we talked about a little bit earlier. It hurts. It does hurt, because it represents so much time and effort. And history and memories and all those different things. So it is hard to get rid of. So I love that idea.
Yeah, that's
making them private so people can still see them if they want, and then revisiting them. That's a very, very cool idea.
Yeah. The Joy of Vinyl Records says, "Thank to you both for your advice. Enthusiasm has improved my channel."
Oh, thank you.
Done. Congrats on the progress.
Oh,
should we?
Yeah.
Should we?
Yes,
Get
I think
distracted.
it's time.
All right, time for some roasting.
Yeah, let's do some roasting. So if you guys want your channels to be looked at, just put capital, all caps, roast, and then your channel. We will definitely take some roasties.
Do we still
here.
have the links turned off?
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, if you can, maybe comment from your channel. I think most of you probably are. Comment from whatever channel you want us to look at. I think we do need to change that setting. People always say that.
We get scammers and stuff,
yes.
And we don't want people clicking on scam links.
Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't happen in the lives. It just comments on our other videos,
Right.
so that we change that setting, and we need to change it for the lives.
Okay, how many of you were here last week on the stream? We played a little game at the end of the stream, soup salad sandwich, which you can conveniently see in the title of this stream. If you were here last week, let us know. We're going to do some of these roasts, but we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist, you could say. We're going to be roasting some of these channels, but we are going to be categorizing them. We'll probably give you some very valid, helpful information, but we're going to categorize them as a soup, salad, or sandwich. So as we do the roasts, you also, as you follow along and look at the channels with us, you can also put in the comments whether you believe the channel we're looking at is a soup, a salad, or a sandwich.
Yeah, so people were asking last week, like, which one should your channel be? Help us figure that out. We have not decided yet.
Yeah. What is the optimal? We're not sure.
Rules around what is what. We're gonna debate and figure it out.
Awesome. Well, it looks like there are some people here from last time, so you guys are going to help us out, lead the way in the comments here. So let's get started. Let's get some roasts going. First up, it looks like the first person who put here was Tech Troublemaker. So let's take a look at Tech Troublemaker. Pull those up.
Hey, it's Roy Richardson, your friendly.
All right, can you guys see that?
Awesome.
Okay, thumbnails are the first thing I'm noticing. There's a lot of small elements. So if you can do fewer, bigger elements. How to monetize your YouTube channel with 500 subscribers. Sounds familiar. Just like if you, so make yourself bigger, maybe like just shoulders up so that you can people can really see your face. Maybe you're like taking up a third of the screen, and then maybe like one element, maybe like for that one, maybe like a YouTube button and a $sign. And get maybe like you have a guest, maybe you want both of you. There are ways to do 2 of you, but just fewer elements. Like for this first thumbnail here, how to monetize your YouTube channel, I would count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Try to get down to like 2 or 3. And I think this purpley blue background is a little bit dark maybe. If you could get more of a natural background, like wherever your home office is or anything in the background that's not that. It kind of looks like Canva clip art, like you're just cut out and stuck on this blank background. I think that would add some depth and help it look a little bit better too. Like the ultimate guide to self-promoting your YouTube channel, that one looks pretty nice. I like that. I like this. What should your mindset be as a content creator? I would probably do a few less words if you could. I don't know if that's just a stock image, but
I think his banner looks like a salad.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for bringing me back to the important topic.
So what do you think? How would you rate the banner? Soup, salad, or sandwich?
I think a salad makes sense. There's a lot of different components. There are these like neat layers though.
Okay,
I'm seeing like
true.
2 very, you got the yellow, the red, the blue. So possibly a sandwich. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know.
Is this, the banner, the channel, soup, salad, or sandwich?
I would say a lot of the thumbnails, I don't know, like if I had to, when I look at the different elements, I can see different things here. Like I said, to me, my initial thought, banner looked a little bit salad-y.
We're getting salad in the comments.
I don't know, maybe it's this robot head looks like a crouton. I don't know, that it doesn't really.
I think that adds up.
Okay, everyone is saying salad.
Okay,
I think you're welcome, Tech Troublemaker. Your channel is a salad. Glad we could help you out with that. Let's take a look at another channel.
Okay.
Let us take a look. Let me scroll back.
So it says alphabet soup. You're not wrong.
Let's see. Off the post. Off the post. Let's take a look.
Off the post.
Yes.
YouTube?
Yep. That's
Cool.
the one.
Cool. Okay. The creepiest football iceberg explained.
I don't even know what that means, but you got a lot of views.
So I'm immediately feeling soup, because sometimes a soup you're like, I don't know what's in here. A salad, you can usually kind of identify it.
Yeah.
A sandwich, you can kind of figure out what's going on. Soups sometimes are a little bit more mystery. I love how intriguing that is.
Wow.
That makes me want to watch it just because I'm so curious.
Okay, so football content. Interesting.
The creepiest South American football iceberg. Are icebergs a thing in football, and like is that common knowledge and I'm just
I don't
uninformed? Maybe this isn't as weird as I think it is. Tech Troublemaker. Yeah, it takes so much time to get to making good thumbnails. Like it really is a skill that takes not just the technical skill, but the creative skill. And if you're working on improving every time, that's the biggest thing you can do, because we still work on improving our thumbnails every time.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending
forever
process.
thing.
Yeah, so good job. Good for you trying to make them better.
Yeah, keep it up. For Off the Post, a lot of the thumbnails, they're like really, a lot of them are kind of busy, but I'm not hating them. And I honestly can't even really explain. So I went to your videos and I sorted by latest. And so I'm just looking at some of these, like a month ago, the most talented footballer that never made it. That one's a pretty simple one. I like the kind of simple text, just 2 words on there, the football player.
Someone said, "Don't think we see what you're seeing." Are they seeing them? Maybe because I'm not scrolling. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Go to videos, and then and then on latest. There you go. Okay. Now you should be able to see what I'm seeing. The most talented footballer that never made it. to me, that's a very simple thumbnail. I don't know. It feels like it would be easily distinguishable. Some of these slightly older thumbnails, like the creepiest Scottish football iceberg explained. Again, don't know what that means. But there's a lot of elements on here. So many faces. It kind of gives me confusion vibes. But again, that's one of your higher viewed videos. So I don't know. I can't really say. What do you think about some of these busier thumbnails, especially with multiple faces?
Yeah, I'd say they work better than most busy thumbnails. I would think. I mean, they look pretty good, so I'd be curious how they would do if you made them simpler. They might look even better. But yeah, they do kind of work. I have noticed that for like a lot of like more vlog content, busy thumbnails work.
That's true.
And although this is technically not vlog, it might sort of kind of fall into that category a little bit. Waves and Game said iceberg videos are when you take a deep dive on a topic starting at surface layer knowledge and then end up in the weird and obscure knowledge. I didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking soup. I'm just feeling very soupy about it because there's a lot going on, but it feels like it kind of blends better than other things. What do you guys think on the soup salad sandwich? Let us know.
I think I'm still going soup on this one.
Okay.
It's like, it looks like there's a lot. Like, okay, it's kind of like the iceberg thing. Sometimes with the soup, you can see a little bit what's on top. There's a lot going on underneath. So I'm going to say, because of the iceberg analogy, this is a soup for me. So, but cool channel. Very interesting, though.
Yeah.
10K subs, 67 videos. Looks like you're doing some good stuff. So keep up the great work. Alrighty. Where's my Idaho channel? Good morning from Idaho. Angry Owl Outdoors. Let's take a look. We got to do it for the Idahoans. Anybody else from Idaho? Not to discriminate. We love everybody. Thanks for everybody showing up. But
I think we've looked at this one before. But let's
if they show up every time, we're gonna look at it every time.
I like it. Okay.
Angry Owl Outdoors.
All right. Extreme cold. 3-degree night. Winter hot tent camping with my dog. So I recall advising that you do more dangerous stuff because it looked like people were liking those videos. Let's see if that was accurate. Hopefully it was helpful. Winter camping in the snow with my dog. I like that idea. Let's see. Okay, so winter survival camp all alone. I think you had that one last time. Your survival ones seem to be doing well. Mountain Solitude, 53,000 3 months ago. That's
Not
super good.
bad, yeah.
So something I've noticed with channels, and I think this might apply to yours, although I'm so glad you're still going, is I think what happens is sometimes people like they're grinding and then they finally get like a video or maybe 2 or 3 videos that are like breakout videos and they do really well. And then your videos after that maybe don't, and then you feel like your channel's declining and all the numbers show like this downward and you're like, oh no, my channel's crashing. But it's not crashing, it's still growing. It's just that you had some, like, I won't say lucky breaks, there might have been some strategy, but like you kind of hit some gold and then it starts going downhill and then people get so discouraged. Like I have seen people close to tears, like ready to give up because they're like, I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Why am my channel failing? They think it's over. And it's like, no, you need to look at this as like a little bonus along the way, not a downward trajectory. So I feel like that's similar to this channel. Like you had pretty good consistent growth and then you had some like amazing outliers, some amazing breakout videos. So just don't let that discourage you guys. You figure out what's working. This bear thumbnail is awesome. I think the topic is probably why I didn't get more views. I like the thumbnail though. Let's see. Unfortunately, it seems like the DIY and like review stuff doesn't do super well for you. People seem to be leaning towards like just more of the vlog style, wanting to watch
kind of
what's going on.
type stuff.
Yeah, so I'd lean into storytelling. Looking good though. Good job.
Yeah.
And posting. I'm sure these videos aren't easy to make.
Yeah, I really like a lot of where this is going. A lot of the thumbnails, they feel simple. I mean, it definitely matches. There's a certain type of channel, these outdoor types of channels where your thumbnails just seem to match really well what I would imagine would do well. And as I look at some of these thumbnails on the videos that are doing better, like, it seems like you're just right on the right track. But I think what you said, Julia, is really important. You know, when you get a video that just does really well, that's super exciting, but the aftermath of that can just be devastating because you go back to baseline. And just focusing on the baseline, you know, if you on average in the first week get 2,000 views or 4,000 views, just know that anything above that you do on a video is good. And so don't sweat it. You're getting there. Like, your channel's growing. So I would just say keep it up. The most important question is here: soup, salad, or sandwich?
Oh, we almost forgot.
Someone
I'm kind of
says
feeling
salad.
Sandwich. Oh, okay.
Well, you can say sandwich. Someone says salad from all the greenery.
Okay. I was thinking sandwich because I do see some greenery, but I'm also seeing some some meat. There's some bears. There's some protein in this vibe. And it seems like you have not a million different things, but a few different things, but they're pretty well distinguished. Like you got some reviews of gear. You've got some. The meat of the channel is these camping experiences, but you have a couple other little side layers. So to me, it's a sandwich, but I'm open to other ideas. Oh, Ways and Games says I see a sandwich here. Consistent parts, camping, bread with other items in the middle. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Man, you guys are so thoughtful on this.
I love it.
Very, very well done. Okay, let's take a look at another. And I do just have to recognize, I don't know if I can find the comments again. A couple of you guys said you were Idahoans, so.
Oh.
You guys, you're the best.
Yeah.
Everyone, you're all the best. But shout out to the Idahoans.
Don't tell them I'm not from here.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
Well, you're here now.
Key my car.
We will allow people to move to Idaho. Anyone who wants to move here so that you can be a part of the Idahoan Club, you're welcome.
Wow.
Welcome here anytime. All right, let's take a look at... I'm just doing some random scrolls here for fairness.
Okay.
Okay, Cyber Skrilla. Cyber Skrilla. Let's take a look.
Okay. Crypto security.
Oh. Yeah, it seems like some of those cold wallet videos.
Yeah, I wonder if I could be way off base here, but I wonder if you're feeling a little stuck because those are doing well, but maybe you feel like you can only do them so long and not sure what else to do. So if you could try more new things, just keep throwing those in if you know they work, but also try adding in some other things that maybe will grow. I'm getting salad vibes, or maybe probably salad vibes. I think this is a salad.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think? I'm a little.
Oh, I'm gonna say. I don't know. I'm feeling a little soupy here, but it's like I'm not saying your channel. It's gonna sound really bad. I almost said a boring soup. It's not because the content is boring. It's just because it's like you're. Man, I'm digging myself in a hole here. It's the clean. The thumbnails look clean. They're not over. Some of them are a little busy, but they're not like.
It's a minimalist.
It's still kind of minimal. Yeah, it's minimalist, not boring. Few elements of the soup, because a lot of your topics are very cohesive, and so I'm gonna say like a very simple soup, maybe sort of something like a tomato soup you would get out of a can.
I love tomato soup. I don't know why you had that can in there. It could be a homemade tomato soup.
It could be homemade. I don't even know if that's a thing. Do people make homemade tomato soup?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe I had some last year.
I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good. So yes, I'm going to say soup on this one. I actually do like the thumbnails. I think they really match sort of this techie vibe that I would expect to see on a channel talking about crypto security. So I think it feels right. Someone says butternut squash soup.
I made tomato soup 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Nice.
okay, you guys.
It's hard work.
I know.
Well, unless it was a can. I don't know
Yes.
what you mean.
I make tomato soup occasionally. Just open the can, pour it in the pot.
So Bradford says, homemade tomato soup is a thing. You actually can make everything from home, silly boy.
Okay, listen. I know you can make stuff from home. It's just that tomato soup is like, it feels like a one ingredient thing just because like, oh, tomato soup. There's like no chunks in it or anything. So I apologize. You are right. I do know how to make things at home.
I'll admit, I was surprised last year when someone threw out that idea. I was like, you can make tomato soup at home?
I just don't know why you would. I mean, maybe it tastes way better. I'm also not the biggest tomato fan. So, yes, you can hate on me for that. That's just fine, too.
Okay.
All jokes aside, someone says, throw some veggies in the soup. It's very brothy now.
Sorry, I'm forgetting to scroll again. I will scroll. Look at
Mine
us.
was from the can. All right, for you, okay, I think we just need to let it be known. For all of you who are canned tomato soup people, please put that in the comments to back me up here. If you are a homemade tomato soup person, feel free to also put that in the chat so that we can see how divided we are.
Yeah.
I am definitely a canned tomato soup person, and I'm going to stand by that.
Oh, we should do a community post after this.
Okay.
About
All right.
soup choices.
Check out that community post when it is up. All right, should we take a look at one more channel?
Yes.
Okay, let's see who the last, final, and lucky person is. Right. The pie guy. They say, I would love to hear what you think. The channel's been up for 4 years. Seems to be growing steadily, almost 20,000 subs. It's a very niche, so not sure if it's long-term 10 to 20 channel idea. So we'll see. The pie guy.
This is interesting. Tips, tricks, and advice for professional private investigators. Neat. That is so neat. Just gonna watch a couple sections of your seconds of the video. We're engaged!
Congrats.
Let us take a look.
Nice and to the point. Your lighting is nice and bright. Without watching the whole video, I would still say start with maybe trying to improve your thumbnails a bit. There's a lot of words. The video itself looks actually pretty good from first glance.
The only so really quick, one thing I would say about the video is maybe just a little bit more forward light on your face. It looks like you maybe have an overhead light just above your head or maybe a little behind you. It just casts a little bit of shadow on your eye. So if you have just a little bit more light to the front, even if it's just a lamp that you could put a little closer in front of you, or if you could happen to get a window in front of you, or a light of some sort for filming, just a little bit more light on the face, I think would really make you stand out a little bit more from the background.
Yeah, you can even get those like $20 shop lights from Home Depot, or if you have one in your garage, like think outside the box. But yeah, and then if it's bright enough at that point, if you can turn off overhead lights, like if you could use a window or a bright light and then turn off overhead lights, that's better. But overall, being bright is good. I'd say less words on the thumbnail. Try to figure out how you can convey what you're trying to say without, maybe even to start with, think I'm not going to use any words on the thumbnail. It's going to be in the title, and I'm going to try to convey what's going on with just pictures and things in the thumbnail. And then if you decide, okay, I'll add one word or something, cool. But people just kind of don't look at thumbnails with a lot of words anymore. It kind of blends in, and I don't know, there's so much competition on thumbnails that are really visually appealing that the ones with words only just don't work so well. I know you're in it too, which is good, but like even this one, yeah, and you have 46,000 views on this one, and that's, you're kind of showing it, you've got a few words on there, but you're showing what's going on. Yeah.
I would say maybe if you could make your face a little bigger in the thumbnails.
Yeah.
I think a lot of your facial expressions are really good.
And brighter.
And just a little bit brighter on your face, yeah. Sometimes you're getting a little bit of a shadow. Some of them, it actually seems to work on some of these thumbnails where there's a little bit of a shadow on half your face. It almost like matches the vibe a little bit. But I'd say a lot of times just a little bit too dark. And so maybe just work on, again, improving a little bit of that lighting when you take these photos. Just a little bit more like forward light on your face. Less top down, a little bit more on your face. And then, yeah, a little less text. But other than that, I mean, you've had some videos do really well over the past few years. So very interesting niche. As far as like long-term viability of the channel, like you said, it's pretty niche. That being said, it looks like there are people watching your videos. I would say as far as something you could do to make it a little bit more long-term is make it more broad appeal. As you're thinking of video ideas, rather than totally focusing, and they could be primarily focused for private investigators, but in the marketing of the videos, try and make it, try to appeal to the curiosity surrounding private investigation. And that could influence someone like me who has no connection to private investigation. I might end up watching one of your videos just out of curiosity. And so if you could try to appeal to that sort of curiosity factor that the masses might have surrounding private investigation, your videos could get way more views, and then in the long run, your videos and your channel will just have more following, even if it's not just private investigators. It might just be people who are interested in true crime or investigation type content. So that's probably where I would go with it.
Yeah. A fun topic. And some of your videos are already doing that. They already seem pretty broad appeal, but yeah, even more, even if it is specifically like 10 lies police use, that's not geared specifically towards private investigators. But I think like Nathan was saying, you could actually have videos that are like specifically about private investigators, but still broad appeal. So yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, and I think, excuse me, some of your videos that have gone bigger, like Julia said, they are more broad appeal. They work for a larger audience, and I think that's a big part of why. So very, very cool. Some people have said sandwich on this one. What do you think? This is very important as we finalize this review. I don't know. I'm getting thrown off by the name pie. Makes me think of pie.
But as a pie, a pie is a sandwich, I would say, more than a salad. Yeah,
pie is sandwich. So I'm going to have to agree with you guys in the chat. This one's a sandwich here just because I think pie is sandwich. And I don't know if I can do any more thinking than that.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand Waves and Games. He is the PI guy. I'm saying pie because I'm thinking about pie, and pie is a sandwich. I get where you're coming from. Pie 3.14. Yeah, it was Pie Day just passed, I believe.
I got, well, not free. I got cheap pizza. Got a mini pizza from Flying Pie Pizza here in Idaho, which is a great place, but their pizza's kind of expensive. Because that tiny little 10-inch pizza would have been $15, but for Pie Day it was like $3.15.
Yeah. Multiple comments here says it is PI guy. Yes, I know it is PI guy. That is also something to recognize, though. It's like initially when you read it, people will probably read it as pie, like almost like 3.14 pie. Yeah. So just maybe adding a couple dots by your brand. I know you have one on that one side of the eye. It's not really that big of a deal.
Red, so they'd stand out more or something.
Yeah, maybe just updating the branding there a little bit might help it. Because initially when I read it, I will say, okay, Pie Guy. Then when we click to the channel, I realized, oh, private investigation. So if you could make that distinction a little bit more clear,
that's a good point.
You would not be offended by people like us calling your channel Pie.
You could even consider, it's a crazy long name, but like Private Investigator Guy as your channel name, and then the logo could still be PI Guy.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know.
Very
Just
cool.
ideas. Yeah,
very,
great
very
channel.
Cool. Awesome.
Interesting. I want to watch those videos.
Yeah.
Figure out how to be sneaky. All right. I know we haven't decided for sure when we're doing our next live, but
we're going to be doing them a little bit more often.
Yeah.
If you guys are enjoying them, it looks like some of you have been here the past few weeks. If you enjoy the lives, we'll probably do them more often if you like them. And we should probably cover a little bit of a broad range. We've been doing some channel reviews. We love looking and seeing what you all are working on. But we'd be happy to, cover just different topics. Like we could talk about getting to 1,000 subscribers, or ways to monetize, or great tech to get started with. We can cover different topics like that. So if there's anything like that you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments of our videos. If we post a community post, spam it in there. We'd be happy to hear from you. But we will probably make a community post for the next time we're going live. And we just want to say thank you guys for joining us today. Yeah. It's been fun.
Someone says they like the Friday lives. It helps get excited to work on my channel over the weekend. That's
Okay.
good feedback. We'd like to know
Yeah.
what time too, because and time zone. Like, tell us what
Yes.
times, because we like doing them early, but and early for us is who knows what for you, depending what time zone you're in. So
Yeah.
let us know what you want to see more of, and we'll try to keep doing them.
Yeah. It's
Great.
always fun to jump on here and chat with everyone. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here, and we'll see you later.
Good weekend. Bye.